right, let's see what we have for bag number 8. Let's see. It's thick. Appears to be a jar. It is cracked glass glitter. Kind of looks like snow. All right, let me decide what I want to do with this. All right, so here is the glitter that was in the bag. It's pretty fine. It's very lightweight. So I think what I want to do is I took out the snow globe die because that had seasonal pieces that came with it. So this was the winter one, which was called Winter Snow Globe Scene. And I think I'm going to use the Yeti one with the sentiment, Yeti or not, it's Christmas time, because I think that's funny. And because this is so thin and so light, normally I would take my foam and put a thin strip around this, but this is pretty thin. And how I got here was I took the pieces of the die. This is the inner piece and this is the outer piece. Taped them together and cut it out 6 times. So I would have a depth. So I could make the snow globe this way instead of using the foam. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. Because I have 5 of them together here. And I already have this much thickness. So I think this will be okay. And I have a piece of acetate. And I grabbed the Winter Snow Days pack again. And I took this out of there. And I also have some silver Maricard and a 5x7 card base. So that's where I am so far. So let me get started and see where we go. All right, so I don't need these dies here anymore because I already cut one out of the bottom, which this will be the front of the snow globe that comes across here. And then I took a whole page of 300 GSM cardstock and I was able to cut it out 6 times. And like I said, I put the 2 pieces together and just kept pulling the paper off, leaving the tape intact. And then I would take another piece of paper, put it on there, and run it through my machine until I had 6. So I put the 5 together already, and I wanted to make sure I was going to have enough thickness here. So I think I am. So now I'm going to take one more and take your favorite glue. And you want to make sure you glue all the way around because you don't want to have the glitter getting out. So be generous with the glue. And we'll put this on top of here. And squeeze it together. Make sure it's all nice and straight. This is why it's important to leave the 2 pieces taped together. Because if you don't leave these taped together, you're never going to cut them out exactly the same. Yeah, so I think now we're getting enough thickness here. Now, if this was bigger shaker bits, I wouldn't do it this way. I would go ahead and cut the foam down. Because I do have some thin foam. But it was still too thick. So I'm going to try it this way. So I'm going to let this dry. While that dries, I'm going to bring in the whole piece. So this here, now that we're done with this, I'm going to take this off of here. And I just cut one of these out. Because you want 1 solid and then 6 of the 2 together. All right, here's my stamping platform. Let me put the glue away for now. Clear this up. All right, that's dry. That should be fine. All right, so I'm going to take the solid one and place it down. I'm going to take my Yeti stamp. And the Yeti or not, it's Christmas time. I think this will all fit on here. All right, so there's my Yeti. Now, keep in mind, keep in mind this piece is going to come down here, and this is going to cover the top here. So let's take this piece here to make sure we're placing this where this can all be red. So if this hangs off, that doesn't matter too much. I just want to make sure I'm going to see the bulk of it. All right, so that's fine. That will go from edge to edge. That's fine. So let's see if the Yeti or not, it's Christmas time, is going to fit. And this will be over the top, like this. And that will be fine. I'm going to scooch this over just a little bit. Let me pick this up. And I'm going to grab my black ink. All right, let's double check this before we get carried away. Make sure that's going to be good, and that's going to be good. All right, so let's stamp this a little bit more, make it nice and dark. All right, that's good. So let's color this in. All right, so let's get this colored. So I have some markers. So I think for the Yeti, I'm going to use W1. I'm going to color his hair. So let's see here. So this is going to cover this like this. That's looking pretty good. So I just need to do something with the sky here. So let me grab my blue blending brush. All right, so I'm going to bring in some Sea Glass from Gina K and use the detailed blending brush from the other day. All right, and I'm just going to blend in some blue color here, just so it's not so white. I think these little brushes are going to be nice because they're nice and small. You know, sometimes you need a little brush. There, I think that's probably all that needs. Let me see what this is going to look like now. All right, I think that's going to be good. So now for the piece for the front here, I want this to look like wood. So I'm going to grab some honey mustard. And I also grabbed warm cocoa. See which one I want to end up doing here. So if you just drag this across like this, and it's at an angle, I'm catching the edge here. And it does make it look like wood. All right, I'm going to take my big brown blending brush and I'm just going to go over it really quick just to kind of blend it out a little bit. I'll put a little bit more brown on here. Because paper does have a grain in it, kind of like wood does. And so that's why you end up with lines like that. I think that will look good. Let's see. Yep, that will look great. All right, so next thing we have to do, let's get this out of here. All right, so we have our pieces we've glued together. And I'm going to put a little more glue down here because I think I didn't come all the way down across the bottom there. All right, and this is going to get glued onto here. So we're going to go across the top here. Make sure this is all going to get glued down really well. And we're going to go around the edge. And this will get lined up. All right, so now we can see how much thickness we have here. So that should be all right. All right, let me go grab my acetate. All right, so I have a tape pen. Then I'm going to take the back side of this and I'm just going to cover the whole thing. There's my paper. All right, that one was empty. Let's switch to this one. All right, pull this off. I'm going to attach this to the acetate. Now I will cut around the acetate. All right, now let's check my edge. Make sure I don't have anything sticking out anywhere. That feels pretty good. All right, let's make sure this is all going to stick on here. That's going to be just fine. All right, so let's put the wood front on here. This will go flush with the bottom. All right, let me give that a moment to dry. All right, now for the part we have to be careful. So let's open up our glitter. And we're probably not going to need a lot. That's probably enough. I tend to overfill my shakers sometimes. You know what, I'm going to take a little bit out. Just because I usually overfill them. All right, so now Take the back side of this, put more glue on it. Let's see, you know what? So I'm going to go straight on here so I don't have any hanging over and catching it. Because this is the sticky dot one. Across the bottom here will be fine. All right. So I'm going to line up the bottom. All right, now for the moment of truth, if this is thick enough. And it is. Make sure we're all pushed down. There we go. It's in here. Maybe you could go one more layer. All right, but there's a little shaker ready to put on our card. All right. All right, so let's bring in our card base. We grab the glue. So this is going to go on here. And this was from Snow Days again. Just slide this in the middle. There we go. Give that a second to grab. This will come on here. And what I was thinking with this is I was going to make it to where it's detached so you could take it off. So I think what I want to do, I think I'm going to cut out one more of these because I can see this through the back. So let me cut one more out. All right, so let me just cut one more of these out really quick. All right, well, this ribbon, I think the gray will be fine. Let me see how much of this gray I have left. Yep, this will be fine. So if I cut this to about here, I've got quite the pile going on behind me here. Let me grab some tacky glue, so this will grab faster. And I'm going to put some glue on the back here. Just going to press the ribbon into this. Dab some glue on here. Put this on the back. Now you can attach this to the card, but they can, whoever you give this to can take it off and use it as an ornament. All right, now if you want to, let me grab the brown. Because there is a thickness here. If you want to go around the edge here and across the bottom, grab the brush. Yeah, the brush is a better way to do it. And just darken it. Press that down really good. Yeah, so now when you look at the sides, it looks more like wood. Yep. Need to let that glue dry a little more. Let's see. Yep, I think it'll be fine once it dries. Yeah, it'll be fine once it dries. All right, so let's finish putting this together. So this will go on here. All right, so this will go on the card front. Now to attach this, I'm going to, all right, to attach it, I was going to use a button, but I couldn't find one that I liked. So I'm going to take this Velcro. It's probably way more than I need. I can get the sticky off. Sticky off the one side. And the sticky off the other side. There we go. Now I'm going to decide where I want the ribbon to hang. That'll be all right. I'll put this here in the middle. Now you have a shaker that your ribbon, your ornament, can come off and people can hang it on their tree. So there you go. So I hope you like it, and if you did, give me a like and come back tomorrow when we open up the next door of the calendar. And until then, stay crafty.